I don't feel like the thing's pointed at me.
Okay, look, I'm the one who can see.
I know. Haha, you're funny. You need to keep that part in there. So I'm going to give a little bit of everything today, having SPS, being blind, and I'm going to call it being directionally challenged. Has been an especially hard 2 weeks, if you will. I have a mobility trainer coming tomorrow, and the first stage of training is me walking around my neighborhood with a cane, feeling the difference between the road and the grass and all the driveways. Now, I live in a neighborhood that is about a 1.3 mile loop. It initially was taking us about an hour and a half to get all the way around the neighborhood, sometimes two, depending on the amount of stops, frustrations, and rewinds that we had to do. I got it whittled down to about an hour. I have noticed that I walk faster if I walk with my head up and just try to concentrate on walking. But for some reason, I also have a tendency to constantly look down, like I can see what I want to see, which is not true because I can't. Sometimes I can see the periphery of, or the shadow of, a mailbox, which is helpful because today with both of my kids home, and I decided to try to walk the neighborhood by myself, and then I FaceTimed them when I got into a position where I knew I wasn't where I was supposed to be. So the tricky part with the SPS is that my entire body is 100% completely sore from using the cane, from walking with a cane, I wouldn't even say walking in general. I'm not sure if I'm walking differently because I'm using the cane, or if I'm walking slower or faster, or just, I'm not sure, but even my feet hurt, my calves hurt, my arms, hands hurt. Sometimes when I get home from walking, this particular hand will be like zinging if I haven't been switching from one hand to the other, which I have been trying to do. I learned that the walking dog, seeing eye dog, will be on my left. So I've been trying to use the cane on my left as well as my right, even though I know I'm going to be using it on my right once I get the dog. But I want to make sure that, like, the cane sometimes gets caught in the long grass and it'll stop me in my tracks. And I feel like that's exactly what it would feel like if the dog were to stop me in my tracks. So I'm trying to get a little bit of everything kind of crammed in there. So the upper shoulders of my arms hurt. Holy crap, the sides of my arms hurt. And they've just been sore for 2 weeks straight because I've been walking the neighborhood at least once a day, sometimes twice a day, for probably 2 weeks. Maybe a day off in there somewhere, but for the most part, I've been trying to make it so that when the mobility trainer comes, I can hopefully get through the neighborhood in a quicker fashion than I would have if I hadn't practiced. The directionally challenged part, excuse me, I apologize, only adds to the frustration of not being able to see. I was directionally challenged before. If you put me in the middle of the street and asked me which way was north, I don't know. I couldn't have told you. Looking up at the sun, I don't know. You're lucky I can remember that west is the, you know, that we thing that we learned in I don't even know, 3rd grade, that California is on the west coast and New York is on the east coast, and it makes the word we. That's the only way I can remember which way north, west, south, and east is. So I will admit that I am directionally challenged. I did not think that was going to affect my walking, but apparently I have a tendency to walk to the right. So with almost every step I take, I almost need to overcorrect and make myself walk to the left. So I'm trying to learn to do that, but sometimes I seem to be able to walk quite straight, and then all of a sudden I completely lose the grasp within 2 steps. I'm in the middle of the road, no idea where I am or how it happened, or if I'm in a driveway, and it's craziness how fast it can happen. And then that's when I would FaceTime my son or my daughter, and they would be like, this is what you did, this is how you can get out of it, My son is taking geometry and has been he's been using geometry terms like, Mom, you're parallel to this. And I'm like, okay, but does parallel mean I'm parallel to the road, or does it mean I'm parallel to the driveway? Those are two separate things. You got to tell me, what am I parallel to? So that's been fun. We've been having a lot of fun with the correcting and the backing up and redoing a driveway, because every driveway is different, and sometimes it's really easy to find a crack, and sometimes or the difference between the driveway and the road, and sometimes they're very similar. So it's very tricky. Excuse me. But I today somehow crossed the street in the entire wrong direction and called my daughter and asked her where I was, and she said, you're at the beginning of the loop of Mill Run. And I said, I just did that loop. I was at the end across the street. I should be showing you the so-and-so's house. And she said, Mom, I'm telling you that you're at the beginning of Mill Run. And I honestly didn't believe her. Like, even if she was there standing right next to me, they'll tell me, take a 180-degree turn, and I will do what feels like a 180-degree turn, and they'll be like, that was only 90 degrees. And we'll get into a fight because I'll be like, I know what a HE double hockey stick 180-degree turn is turning my body all the way around 180 degrees and not done. And they'll be like, that may be the case, but I'm telling you, you only turn 90 degrees. And it's like, we called my cane the third eye. So like, sometimes my husband will be like, your third eye has led you astray. You need to find your way back to where you were. And that was a recommendation from the therapist, actually, so that I could tease them, like, don't make me hit you with my third eye. I'll come at you with this thing. So it's been an interesting process to be this combination of muscle disease that makes you sore when you do things that are different. And now I'm in this whole world of differentness where I'm constantly wanting to look down, and there's nothing to look at, but that's what I want to do. Like, I feel like if there's nothing to look at ahead of me, then I should just be looking down, and I don't have a reason for that. I don't know if other people experience that or not. So my neck is also sore, but this cane I have got to get used to because it's going to be the rest of my life. So eventually my arms have got to get used to this crazy thing. But so that is a wrap for today. It's the combination, we're going to call it SPS blind and being directionally challenged. And hopefully some of you that have SPS might find this to be funny. Some of you that are blind, hopefully you can find a little humor in not being the only person that might be directionally challenged or think that they're turning a certain number of degrees when they are clearly are not. Or their big fat ass wants to lead them in one direction instead of the other. You pick which one you are, and hopefully you enjoyed today's session. Thanks so much.